Joining us now is OjyOkpe with stories trending around the world. Hello, Chineke.
Good morning. Happy Workers' Day to you, Dr. Abati.
Happy Workers' Day.
Happy Workers' Day to you.
Happy
Workers' Day to you, Rufai. But we are here. It's a holiday, but we are here.
I have a prayer for you this morning.
As always.
In the words of Udubeji, all your enemies are badagri.
Man, this man, they're a comedian. Well, all right. Good morning to you, viewers. Let's begin what's trending by joining workers across Nigeria in celebrating Workers' Day, as the federal government approved a salary increase of between 25% and 35% for civil servants, as well as an increase in pension of between 20% and 28% for pensioners, with this throwback rendition of Venu Marioage's hit song, Nigeria Go Survive.
Andrew, no check out, oh. Say what? Stay and build your country, Nigeria go survive. Now who go die for you, oh? Blood is thicker than water, Nigeria go survive. If Andrew doing work, oh, and me, I do my own, oh, Nigeria go survive. If our leaders do them best, oh, Andrew go stay to help, oh, Nigeria go survive. Nigeria go survive. Africa go survive. My people go survive, oh, Nigeria go survive. Nigeria go survive. Africa go survive. My people go survive, oh, Nigeria go survive. Nigeria go survive. Africa go survive.
Nigeria go survive, oh, our people go survive. Nigeria go survive, my people go survive. Africa go survive, oh, Nigeria go survive. I mean, I thought this was appropriate to celebrate Nigerians and workers. He's smiling. I mean, legendary Mario Aga.
No. What do they drink on that show?
No, I mean,
always makes them hyper.
We have to entertain our viewers. I mean, because obviously this salary increase, we don't know what it really is, but why not? We should put some joy, because I mean, 20% increase, people are saying. How much was the increase in bread? Was it 20% or was it 400% as we speak right now? But let me take a reaction from, Nigerians that are concerned. This is from Truly Yours. He wrote, "It will take forever before it gets implemented. At the local and state level, down in the local level, they're still dragging whether to pay or not the palliative that has been long forgotten by the federal workers. You all shouldn't just send circulars out. You all should send enforcement teams out to ensure these implementations are properly enforced." I mean, that is actually the rhetoric out there. I mean, this has to be enforced because, I mean, Dr. Bati, earlier I believe that there was also that salary increase. I think it was October 1st, wasn't it? Was it around that time that the federal government? Yeah.
Just palliative.
All right,
yes.
we're still waiting.
Yeah.
You all have covered this subject. I thought it was important to highlight it. Well, all right, we'll take another story. Well, the presidency has come under fire on social media after officials of Danish shipping company A.P Moller-Maersk on Tuesday denied a $600 million investment deal with the Nigerian government. While on April 28th, special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Ajuri Ngelale, in a statement claimed that Nigeria secured a $600 million investment to expand existing port infrastructure to accommodate more container shipping services in Nigerian ports. Well, according to Ngelale, Robert Uggla, chairman of A.P Moller-Maersk, made the investment commitment during a meeting with President Bola Tinubu on the sidelines of the World Economic Forum in Saudi Arabia. But according to Lloyd's list on April 29th, the $600 million investment in Nigeria, as stated by the presidency, was news to Maersk. The report added that the company's chairman, Uggla, met with President Bola Tinubu over the weekend, but no new investment deal was signed. I mean, Rufai, I know you're saying, because I did see some of your, your statements on Twitter, and it does appear I mean, let me just take this tweet from Harmless, who wrote, "This one, the entire government is now depending only on propaganda. Does it now imply that Tinubu has run out of ideas, from Dubai visa ban to Maersk's $600 million investment. How long should we continue to delete posts and keep writing these articles? But I believe that he's responding to Bayo Ononuga, who actually deleted the post announcing the deal as well. I'll take Godswill's tweet. He wrote, "Breaking news. This is the global Tinubu effect. Maersk lost almost 4% of their market capitalization in less than 12 hours after Tinubu's administration falsely announced that the company was going to invest $600 million in Nigeria. The global market has finally priced Nigeria as junk asset class." Maersk is a public company, and I can imagine the frenzy of phone calls among their board of directors and shareholders that forced them to quickly denounce the false propaganda about their $600 million investment in Nigeria. I can also imagine Maersk lawyers threatening Bayo Ononuga with a lawsuit if he did not delete the tweet immediately, because the lightning speed with which the tweet was deleted was nothing short of dizzying. Anyway, the Maersk stock price has since been struggling to get back to its market value. Well, in a twist of events, a video made available to Arise News with the caption, "Caught on tape," the presidency claimed the Maersk Terminal's chief executive officer, Kate Swevenson, detailed the company's $600 million investment commitment during a visit to the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Doris Uzoka-Anete. Well, in the video, Maersk Terminal CEO appeared to have outlined plans to allocate an initial $100 million with an additional $500 million for port investments in Lagos. Well, let's take a look.
I'm happy today to present to you the global CEO of APM Terminals and chairman of NESCAS and management team of APPL. With this facility, Nigeria is certain of getting over 1 million jobs.
Facility to really world-class capabilities and invested over $100 million there. And so our proposal is to upgrade the Apapa port facility with our partners there and invest $500 million in upgrading the facilities.
To actually come forward with your commitments of investment. And for me, it's something I want the rest of Nigerians to see and to hear, and to be rest assured that it's going to get better. We committed and we promised Nigerians that there will be jobs. And also, calculating numbers, sitting down here, we've just created 3 million jobs. Within 2 days, we are seeing opportunities of creating 5 million jobs. So what we are doing is also to create a job center where we can actually put out the opportunities that are available for Nigerians to see and to contact those who are providing these jobs in a matchmaking process. So we do all that we can and all that it takes to remove the bottlenecks around businesses for you, increase the ease of doing business.
Caught on tape. Well, according to the presidency, this video was made this pledge was made in February, but of course Nigerians will react. Because you see that video? This is from Dari, who wrote, "This is actually a dangerous game. What if Maersk decided to sue for this kind of AI forgery and misinformation? This is criminality of the highest order. Bayo Ononuga has deleted the tweet. You people want to put them in more trouble by forging their voices. Maersk lost 4% of his market CV yesterday. Don't make them squeeze Nigeria for it, because that's the rhetoric. It does appear to be like an AI-generated video because the voice was not syncing.
I would like to quote
what's happening here?
the famous words of the leader and the founder of the Pluto Nation, Mr. Charlie Poppy. He said, and I quote, "He don't cast. He don't cast. He don't cast." Okay. This deal, he don't cast. Dr. Abati, yesterday, we took a story when Nuhu Ribadu was talking about disinformation. And I said something profound, like I'm a soothsayer, that the government should desist from disinformation and misinformation. Dr. Abati, I submit to you, do you not see it is this government that is purveying misinformation and disinformation as we speak? A deal that was never signed, a deal that was never articulated, you went ahead and reported that the chairman of Maersk made that deal with you on the sidelines of your meeting in Saudi Arabia. Then Lloyd's list. Lloyd is one of the most authoritative websites when it comes to anything shipping. I'm sure they probably also run the Lloyd's Register, came out and they debunked the story. In the pain and everything, instead of you to offer an apology, anyway, Mr. Baron Onuga, like they say in social media parlance, he did feel folded. He folded. He went back, he deleted that message, that misinformation.
As he should.
Then some of their propagandist bandwagon had the temerity to bring out this video that didn't even talk about an investment, talk about a proposal that was done in February as against something that was announced. I mean, how much will government stop spreading misinformation on social media? Because when Nuhu Ribadu was talking about spreading misinformation, is this not obvious? Just like we had in the Dubai case, that it took a brave journalist to debunk it by calling the Dubai authorities. It has gotten to a point where if you have any of these foreign announcements, what do you do now? You need to talk to those foreign bodies that they made the announcement with to be able to get to the root of the matter. If Maersk had not been asked, and stellar job Rotus, I commend you, second time I commend you Rotus today. Rotus had to go ahead and send a message, say they can't comment on any investment. If it was something they were happy about, they were going to comment on it. So it speaks volumes of what we should do, and let us do it, right? We can't keep doing this and spreading misinformation.
Okay, I'll be very brief. You see, there's something they call test of English as a foreign language.
I know that. TOEFL.
Yes. So English language is a very tricky thing for people for whom English is not the first language. That's my first point. Now, Ajuri said the Nigerian government secured, right?
We celebrated
It probably, in his mind, doesn't mean that a deal has been struck. Mr. Ononuga, in the tweet that he deleted, said plans to invest.
Like a proposal, yes.
Right? So Mr. Ononuga, when there was this pushback, deleted the tweet. And I think also he went on television to say, he didn't say they have said they will invest, but that they plan to invest. Now, Maersk, in their own statement, said, we'll continue to dialogue with the Nigerian government. We're committed. We've been doing business in Nigeria for a very long time, and the ongoing dialogue with the Nigerian government is in order, but no deal has been signed. Obviously, if a deal was signed, we will have seen the ceremony.
Yes.
Now, to the basic issues. That article by one Richard Meade on the Lloyd's list, I went through it.
Yes.
Yes, he said Maersk did not say that any deal was signed, but he also provided an explanation that Maersk, the Danish shipping giant, that they are going to have their announce their quarterly earnings, first quarter earnings, on Thursday. And of course, that would generate the interest of investors and all that. And that one of the reasons is that they don't want to run foul of any regulatory issues. So how do you go and tell your investors that you have already promised or you have committed yourself to a $600 million package in Nigeria? Yes, of course, at that meeting, questions will be asked. Investors will ask questions. So he provided that alternative explanation. And then in some of the things you read, their share price, their stock equity was affected. It dropped by 4%. So there are regulatory issues here. There are, business considerations here. But the more important part of it is that those who issue statements on the part of government should not be over-enthusiastic. Each time President Tinubu travels, our people are always very eager to come out and say, we have secured this amount, we have secured that amount. So I think there's also something about the use of English language here. Why not just say it as it is and say there was a dialogue, there is but to go ahead and say a deal has been secured. No, they will say no, it didn't happen.
Secure, yes.
Because
I have told you that it's about English.
I want to assume that if you have the position as a spokesperson of the president, your use of English should be almost at 100%, should be excellent. If we gave you TOEFL to pass, there should be not. I think it's a disservice to Ajuri to say that he doesn't speak English properly.
You're very terrible. What you just do that? You're a terrible person.
Rufai, hold on. Rufai, hold on. My main issue.
English language is
that
not our language. He's
Hold on.
They tried to bring the
second video to justify, because I mean, clearly they said it was when President Bola Tinubu met with the chairman in Saudi Arabia that the deal was secured. What has this got to do with that statement?
Nothing to do with that.
Absolutely
Please,
not.
for the avoidance of doubts, let me tell you what the Oxford Dictionary defines secure as. Succeed in obtaining something, especially with difficulty. Obtain, the first fix or attach firmly so that it cannot be moved or else it is irrevocable. So I think he can speak English properly. He understands English. English is a criteria to pass English language before he can get to any university in Nigeria.
So we just call it propaganda. That's what it is, right? All right.
Can we say that?
We're fine. All right, let's take another story. You guys have done justice to the story. Well, all right. We'll take another story, Rufai. Well, let's continue on what's trending. With more reactions trailing the demolition of Landmark Beach, well, on Tuesday, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, yet again urged President Bola Tinubu's administration to stop the controversial Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway project, as it will lead to massive job loss at a time of rampant unemployment. While in a series of posts on X, Peter Obi described the reported demolition of businesses and residencies in the designated right-of-way for the projects as insensitive and heart-wrenching, adding that it is not too late to discontinue the project. His tweet reads in part, "Contrary to reason and the necessity for compassion in public policy, the federal government has commenced the controversial Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway project. The outcry against this project has been overwhelming due to the current situation in the country. The sight of this insensitive demolition is heart-wrenching. Livelihoods are being wiped away, lifetime investments are being wasted, and jobs are disappearing as bulldozers roar through. The homes of the elderly are being overturned by the power of bulldozers. Thousands of jobs are about to be lost, with investments above $200 million at risk. Over 100,000 jobs in the leisure and hospitality sector face imminent extinction, along with 80 small businesses and their 4,000 mostly youth employees. At a time of rampant unemployment, the government is embarking on a job-losing project. The economic losses currently observed are primarily limited to the initial kilometers in the Lagos area. But of course, there will be reactions to this, because, I mean, this is not the first time he's actually calling for the halting of this. This is about the second time. Well, in response, a Michael Chubuzo posted a video when Peter Obi ordered the demolition of property to make way for a new road when he was governor of Anambra State, with the caption, "Dear Peter Obi, it appears you have allowed your electoral loss to convert you into a full-blown liar and a desperate man on a mission to always deceive. How on earth would you say that over 100,000 jobs are about to be lost because of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road project? How many times do you need to be told that the Landmark Beach Resort, for instance, is not going to lose any of its buildings? Landmark has no building on the beach itself apart from chairs, tents, astroturfs, etc. The Landmark Towers, Landmark Apartments, their event center and shopping arcade are not affected by the demolition. Meanwhile, as governor of Anambra State, you demolished part of Premier Brewery in Onitsha to make way for road reconstruction. And you said at the time that any building that stands in the way of road construction will be brought down with no compensation. You did not remember compassion in public policy then, or the effect on the business of Premier Brewery. What changed now? Well, let's take a look at that video.
The governor was in Onitsha to inspect the ongoing construction and rehabilitation of Premier Road, which is abandoned by previous administrations in the state. The contractors handling the project attributed the slow pace of work on the road to the Premier Brewery fence, which the management refused to bring down, even after the company had been told to do so. This complaint angered the governor, who immediately ordered that the fence be brought down. The order was carried out instantly, as people watched with surprise as the fence goes down. The governor warned that any structure standing against development in the state should give way.
Our next program is that we have to remove all structures on the road. as long as we are reconstructing the road. That's why we're even leaving most of the structures on the express. Once we start the work, the structures must go.
The governor also made it clear that no compensation would be made by the state government over such demolition.
All right, Ayo, of course you would know that that video has made the rounds on social media, people comparing that incident to what is happening now. But there's a lot of things that we have to, cover here, including the first Twitter user who talked about the fact that, Landmark Beach, yes, Michael, and the fact that Peter Obi is saying unemployment is at a sky high at this moment.
So he challenged a number of things in response to Mr. Peter Obi's comments around, and like you mentioned, he's been very consistent in saying that, number one, this is not priority. Why the rush? There are other matters that ought to have been sorted out, especially with the amount of money that's been allocated to this Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, including the over 50 federal roads that are in a state of disarray. And so he's talked about the fact that whilst we understand that we want to build roads, there are many roads in Nigeria that you can fix or repair rather than while still prepping or evaluating just how better to construct this Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway without affecting a lot of jobs and livelihoods. And I must say that I agree with that. And a number of people have postulated this as well, not just Mr. Peter Obi, in terms of the fact that, in fact, earlier today we talked about this. There are a number of projects that this administration can take on and a number of priority areas. There's hunger in the land, we need infrastructure, there are roads that are left, that some contracts are left, undone. Why are you not facing that? What is this big rush? What is this intention to quickly do that, despite the controversies around this and the attention it's attracted? In terms of the number of jobs, yes, that can be debatable because you can look at direct jobs and indirect job losses. So it's not just about the number of people who work around the Landmark area that he's referring to. It's also the other jobs, the contractors who go and work there, the service providers who go and work there. These are the ripple effects of the job losses. Finally, yesterday, we showed the video 2 days ago, actually. We saw the demolition of the properties. It wasn't just shanties. And in fact, we criticized the fact that the minister had said it would only be shanties that would be demolished. I know people who've lost jobs already, people who had to be scrambling following the demolition. What Nigerians are asking for is not what, we're not saying don't build roads, and Dr. Abati has established many times the right of way belongs to the government. They can choose if it's going to disrupt what in the benefit of public interest. However, let due process be done. Let it be done in such a way that that people can see a justification for that. And timing is key. People are hungry. We're looking for more ways to create jobs.
That's the difference between those two videos.
Yes.
We only have 2 minutes, a minute each quickly. Rufai, you wanted to say a sentence.
Okay, so what I wanted to say was that I disagree with that guy's tweet because actually buildings were demolished. Places like the Breeze Beach and things like that and all of that were demolished. They were not just cabanas that were demolished. Pools were demolished. You know how much it cost to set up a pool? And a couple of other things on that area was demolished. That place was entirely cleared. Okay. All right? You still have the event center there and all of that. Secondly, also, the truth has to be said. They're also making equivalence to Peter Obi's case.
Peter Obi's video in Anambra and this.
The truth is, if he didn't pay compensation, that was a blight on Peter Obi.
Yeah,
Let's not deceive ourselves. If you say you demolish Premier Brewery and you didn't pay compensation, that's a blight on you, Peter Obi, and you too need to account for that. But what we are saying is that we must support businesses and we can't keep disrupting businesses because we want to do infrastructure, which I know is good, but infrastructure is also supposed to aid business.
All right, Dr. Abati.
Okay, see, we had David Umahi on this program, the Minister of Works. But beyond that, its major difference is that the federal government has the right of way, 250 meters, right? Now, if you add that to the fact that the Convention on the Law of the Sea of 1982 grants a sovereign state, the right to the continental shelf from about 12 nautical miles to the sea from the shoreline. And then, of course, the continental shelf of Nigeria is 200, nautical miles, increased recently to 220, nautical miles. So the federal government has justification to talk about right of way. Maybe you also need to look at, the Supreme Court ruling on another case, which was argument over, Section 162 sub 2 about revenue, federal revenue, and the Supreme Court, although that was controversial, saying that from the low watermark of the land border, inwards belongs to the federal government. So that's clearly falls within the right of way. I've just added to Dave Umahi's explanation by quoting the relevant laws. And Dave Umahi was saying that they took only 50 meters. So if that is the legal argument, you know, if these people, if they go to court, you know, they will probably not win. The second thing is that the federal government has an obligation to maybe compensate them, so that there is a human face to all of this.
That really is what
and
it
then
is.
number three, Mr. P2 is entitled to his opinion. But the federal government is not bound by his opinion. It's for President Tinubu to determine what is the priority for him. But I support the argument that, look, all of these projects should have a human face.
It has to have a human face. Well, I'd like to thank you all for your great analysis, as always, on What's Trending. Well, that's all I have for you guys on What's Trending today. I'll see you all tomorrow.